What if the biggest Kubernetes headache isn't some obscure YAML indentation error or a maddening pod restart loop that haunts your dreams? What if it's simply the fact that most developers are still forced to context switch more than 120 times a day, bouncing between terminals, dashboards, and countless browser tabs? We just wrapped up crunching the numbers from our Lens annual survey that had over thousands of Lens user responses, and the very first stat we pulled out already made our days. A whopping 77.2% of our users are using Lens Kubernetes IDE daily. Think about that for a second. That's not just a tool, it's practically a daily ritual. And trust me, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Stick around because we've got more interesting things coming up. So who exactly are these folks making Lens their digital home? Let's set the stage a bit. When we asked about job titles, 37.8% of you identified as software developers, and that's a pretty solid chunk, right? But here's the real kicker, the part that really painted the picture of today's tech landscape. Another 49% tick the boxes for DevOps engineers, system administrators, site reliability engineers, and ops. What is this telling us? It means the same exact tool is now the daily workspace for both the developers writing feature code and the engineers that are tirelessly keeping production environments humming along. When compared to last year's results, we have a 4% decrease in the number of software developers and a 4% increase in the DevOps engineers. We also saw 6% of you are labeling themselves as platform engineers, and this is a role that by our tracking is exploding faster than a misconfigured Helm chart. We even have business execs that are using Lens because it helps them get visibility into the ecosystem, making it easier for them to align technology decisions with business outcomes. All of these users aren't just part of isolated teams, they're working side by side, often on the same clusters. And don't even think for a second we are talking about toy environments here. Our respondents represent companies ranging from lean seed stage startups to large enterprises. We see that 24% of our users come from large enterprises, 16% of them come from medium businesses, and 30.6% come from small ones. Solo users also mark 29.4% of our survey respondents. And in short, this means that Lens isn't some niche utility tucked away in a corner. It's truly becoming the garage where half the Kubernetes neighborhoods park their most critical clusters, where both the builders and the mechanics congregate. It's where the magic and sometimes the mayhem happens. If all of this has piqued your interest, and I bet it has, and you want to dive even deeper into the data, we also have a blog post available for you in the description below. And here's the best part, it's absolutely free, no gate, no hoops to jump through. Just click the link down below and see the insights for yourself. When talking about Kubernetes experience, we can easily see that almost a quarter of our users consider themselves beginners, another quarter experts, and more than half are intermediate. In the beginner category, we saw a 6% drop when compared to last year, half of it going to intermediate users, while the other half went to expert users. It's clear that Lens's features help these users become better with Kubernetes because they could deepen their skills with advanced insights, AI analysis with Lens Prism, one-click integration for AWS EKS, and other productivity features. One thing that made us really happy is that we found that daily usage for Lens sits at an astonishing 77.2%. How does that compare to, well, pretty much anything else in the DevTool universe? Well, most development tools are lucky to see 12% daily stickiness before they slide gracefully or not so gracefully into that dreaded only open when something is on fire category. When we're talking about Lens, we are talking about a tool that users actively seek out day in and day out, not one they grudgingly open as a last resort. And it gets even better. We can see that our weekly users are at 17.2%. And if we add the daily and the weekly users, we get 94.9% of the entire user base touching Lens at least once every 7 days, making Lens more of a platform rather than a tool. What's the translation here for everyone else? Lens isn't just another tool in the stack. It's become part of the workflow muscle memory. When engineers are checking in on clusters, troubleshooting issues, or even just keeping an eye on what's running, Lens is the first place they go. This kind of adoption means it's not filling a niche, it's shaping the default way people interact with Kubernetes. We also asked our users to rate Lens's importance to their daily work on a 5-point scale, from not that important to can't live without it, And the results, a staggering 51.7% rated Lens a perfect, can't live without it. Add to that another 30.8% who gave it a solid 4 out of 5. Overall, more than 82.5% of our users have rated us 4 or 5 out of 5, meaning that there is a strong foundation of trust and reliance on Lens Kubernetes IDE. When compared to last year, 81.6% rated us the same, so the growth is almost 1%. And this is validating our mission while motivating us to close the gaps and transform Lens Kubernetes IDE into a more indispensable tool in the Kubernetes community. Last year, you gave us a ton of constructive feedback, and this year has been no different. We've been listening closely, and we want to share some of the changes we've made thanks to you. First, let's talk about exporting data. You asked for it, and now you can export from almost all the views from Lens. The next thing you wanted was filtering, so we've rolled out contextual tab filtering to make navigation resources smoother. And this is just the beginning, more filtering and insights features are on the way. You also wanted deeper integrations to improve workflow efficiency, so we released one-click AWS integration, Lens Prism, our brand new AI assistant, and support for OCI Helm registries. And let's also talk about the Hotbar. So many of you told us how valuable it was for quickly accessing multiple clusters. Its removal in the new UI at the end of 2024 didn't go unnoticed. We heard you, and that's why we brought it back. And in the upcoming updates, we'll redesign it to work seamlessly with contextual tab filtering. And you also told us what are your top priorities for moving forward. So you want more AI capabilities, and that's why we launched Lens Prism. And we have also more features already in the works. You also want bulk and batch actions, the ability to redeploy multiple workloads or manage several cron jobs at once. You also want us to implement a smarter search and filtering with the option to save your filter views. In addition to that, you also want multi-cluster, multi-window support to compare resources side by side. And of course, deeper integrations and extensibility, because Lens has always been a hub for your Kubernetes workflows. Our community has always been at the heart of everything we do. You've shown us what's working, what's not, and where we can improve. And your feedback continues to shape the future of Lens Kubernetes IDE. And speaking of the future, here's a look at how Kubernetes evolved in 2024 based on anonymized Lens telemetry data. So we supported hundreds of thousands of clusters used by millions of people worldwide. Almost 35% of these clusters were AWS EKS, 19% were Azure AKS, and 11% were Google Kubernetes Engine. Together, that means that more than half of the clusters came from the big three cloud providers, showing a strong preference for managed Kubernetes in enterprises. Lightweight distributions are thriving too. K3s accounted for nearly 12% of the cluster, and also development environments, they're very, very important still. So Minikube and Docker desktop clusters also added up to about 12%. This means that whether you are running Kubernetes at scale or you are just experimenting locally, Lens is here to help. So thank you. Thank you for your trust, your feedback, and for being such a big part of this journey. Lens is growing because of you, and together we are shaping the future of Kubernetes development. And speaking of the future, we are more than excited to announce our brand new 2025 Kubernetes user survey. So this survey will help you understand what's working in Kubernetes, why, where the ecosystem is headed, and how we can improve Lens Kubernetes IDE to close the gap. By participating in this survey, you will highlight the gaps and challenges in Kubernetes adoption and daily use, gain insights in the current shape of the ecosystem, directly shape the roadmap of Lens with your feedback, and contribute to the community by sharing your real-world experiences. The survey will be available directly inside of Lens Kubernetes IDE, so keep an eye out for the invitation in the coming days. We truly believe that with your voice we can reduce friction, boost developer productivity, and set the foundation for the next generation of Kubernetes tooling. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified when new videos come up. I'm Flavius. See you the next time.